Welcome in, Heat fans. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Apologize for the delayed game reaction from last night, but I figured if you guys really needed one, as I was enjoying my Friday night, you guys could have just basically watched the Dallas Mavericks game. Samesies, dude. I mean, it really was a mirror image of the loss to the Dallas Mavericks. You had Bam struggles. You had a third quarter where the game completely swung. A huge game by a young MVP candidate in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Not quite enough from Jimmy Butler to carry this one home, although much better than the game beforehand. And, just some late game execution that got away from Miami. And that was kind of the theme of today. But yeah, this I think the first headline out of all of this is Bam struggles. This is a very much an oddity. He comes out of this one tonight and finishes this game with 5 points. He was 1 of 9 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, minus 18 for the game. So just a really confusing offensive performance from Bam Adebayo. Now, I would say he had more of an impact in this game from the other stuff, but his misses, his turnovers in that third quarter especially really contributed to this game getting away from Miami. So while he had a sweet-ass block on Chet, and he had some nice assists setting guys up, this definitely, I think, if you were to give the number one reason why Miami couldn't come through with either one of these games against two tough Western Conference teams, is you got to look at 13. He did not have performances that are up to his capabilities. Eric Spoelstra did talk about this after the game a little bit. And, he was like, listen, this happens sometimes, even to the great ones.
Sometimes these things happen, but he's a competitor. He knows how to impact, the game. And they're committed, to take the ball out of his hands, particularly out of the post. In the pick and rolls, they're switching, so he couldn't necessarily get him the ball in his sweet spots. So he wasn't able to get some easy relief points. And, but he did a lot of good things, and that's why these are great opportunities to win a game on the road with your C game. If we're not at your best, that you can still find a way to win. We weren't able to do that tonight, and so we live with the loss.
I think that's well said by the head coach. Is that the Miami Heat definitely got some great stuff tonight, not necessarily from their best guys, but they still had their chances at the end. You didn't get the nuclear game from Duncan Robinson today, so you still had your chances late, but it's hard not to look very much at the 9:30 mark of this third quarter. Miami goes up 14 points, and at that point they're up 65-51. Jovic and Jimmy, great ball movement to Duncan Robinson for a 3-ball. He looks like they're going really, really good right now. Jaime Jaquez, he was tremendous tonight. That I think has been a really great thing that has been bubbling up over the last few games, is that it looks like your stud rookie is getting his offensive game back, particularly the three-point shot has been there for him. His confidence, his patience in the paint. He finished with 25 points tonight. Jaime looked really, really good. And so that's definitely a positive to take away from this performance, even with the stinker from Bam. That you're going to be able to build off of that. But yeah, it's disappointing. I like I said, going into this road trip, you wanted to split. Ideally, you're going into two tough environments. You're taking on two incredible players. You're having incredible years in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luka Doncic. Didn't really have the ability to slow down either one of them. They both kind of cooked you. So, that opened things up for everybody else. I mean, listen, Shai has been absolutely an MVP candidate this year, and just couldn't get any stops on him towards the end. He was doing the things that he does, which is dictate the game on his terms, slow the game down, use that, long, lanky body to basically get buckets wherever the hell he wants. He was drawing fouls on Bam. He was getting step back threes, and you needed to come up with some more stops down the stretch, and you just couldn't against that guy. He was really, really clutch for them. And so that big three unit. They didn't really get much from Chet tonight, but Jalen Williams, he also came with a big bucket to really put it out of reach late. And that was the thing, is that these last 2 games, I think this was going to drive Eric Spoelstra nutty. Is there were good things, but the things that he takes pride in are those late game executions to come through in the clutch, and they weren't able to do that. On the big part of good news today, though, and I was a little surprised to see this, Patty Mills made his debut. After sitting the first game. He gets in there tonight. He plays 15 strong minutes, and my God, Patty Mills came out guns blazing. This dude had his shot going immediately tonight, 3 of 4 from downtown. So Patty Mills looked absolutely fantastic. To think that they just, I don't know if it's fair to get this from Patty every single night, but we all know the type of shooter he's capable of being, and he came out, double neon green light tonight. He was exactly what the Heat could have been up for. I gotta tell you, 88 looks pretty good. It's pretty cool. I don't know if like Luka has made like the double high numbers really, really cool, or Jay Crowder. We've seen Jay Crowder pull off 99. That's kind of a cool look. Luka has 77. Still not sure if I like that. But Patty Mills with the 88, kind of digging it. I kind of dug it. I liked it. I liked seeing what he was bringing to the table there. And it was definitely great to see him make that kind of a shot with the debut with your Miami Heat team. Did not see anything from DeLon Wright. That's been an interesting one. He has not really been on the radar of the coach basically since the last West Coast trip. And I think that's the next thing the Heat really got to take into the fold is not DeLon Wright. But speaking of trips, they finish up this trip 0-2. Both of these games are going to be thinking to themselves, we had our opportunities. Now, this is a chance, because if you look at the Eastern Conference standings tonight, after last night's games complete, Heat still 6th, tied with the same record as the 76ers. Game back of Orlando, who lost to the Knicks. Knicks now drop up to the 4 seed. But here's the thing. Miami has a golden opportunity coming up for them to gobble up some wins. This is a week ahead of them where they are taking on just some absolute stinkers, okay? This week, 4 games, Washington, Denver. No, that's going to be a tough one for sure. Those are both at home. And then they go on the road for 2 games in Detroit this weekend, Friday and Sunday. So Miami is going to have a chance against some there's absolutely no excuse for Miami not to get 3 of 4 here. And you get Denver in your building. It would be nice to get a little revenge after that close loss to them, because Miami has been taking on these West Coast teams, and this is 3 straight road losses for them now. I believe this is first back-to-back losses since the 7-game losing streak it is. So the first back-to-back losses Miami has had since the end of January, after having a tremendous month of February. So you're going to have an opportunity to make a statement against Denver for sure. Then next week, a lot of tough Eastern Conference opponents that you guys are chasing, with Philly and Cleveland, with a New Orleans mixed in there. But next week, the Heat have to go 3-1. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Washington, 2 Detroits, those have to be wins to gobble them up. And if you can get Denver along the way, that'd be absolutely, absolutely huge for Miami. But, we'll see what the health status of everybody is, if where things stand with Tyler Hero. Certainly, this is the thing. When you talk about the team and everybody saying, oh, they're, people want to say they're better off without Tyler Hero, but saying, like, Tyler Hero's not as important as you think that he is, and you can put him on the bench. It's nights like tonight when you let a team go on a 17-0 run that you think to yourself, you need a professional bucket getter, and that's what Tyler Hero is. And not having tonight or the night before against the Dallas Mavericks was certainly noticeable. And yeah, Miami's going to be kicking themselves for missed free throws. Bam's going to be kicking himself for shots that he should have had. Guys are going to be thinking to themselves, in that run, how did we not get 1 to go? but on the positive side of things, for Patty Mills to have a debut like that, for Jaime to look like he's rounding into form, there was some good to take away from it, and Spo made that point that you don't want to just look at a night like this and just be like, hey, we'll get better from something like this.
We'll get better from this. There were a lot of good things to take away. None of us want to talk about it or feel that or, whatever, right now because we're competitors. But by the time we get back to Miami, even the head coach, can see that there are some good things, happening in our locker room.
You've been noticing that Spo has been doing this thing lately where he is referring to himself as the head coach. Like, not me. He's not. It's an interesting thing because it's like you have the third person. It's like even Eric Spoelstra. It's not that. You're referring to yourself by his this has been a new thing where he's like, even the head coach can see, that Bam didn't have his stuff tonight and we'll come back from this. But I've noticed this lately. This has been a thing with Spo is where he's now referring to himself in the third person, but I don't even know what third person is when you're referring to yourself as the job. Is it like third person title? The third whatever. The point is, it's a weird thing that he's doing. I kind of dig it. But the Heat, I did not dig this performance. Losing to the Oklahoma City Thunder, got to bounce back against the Wizards.